Samantha Chian, your host with Fruend, Nevada. This episode is brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm, helping families and injured victims throughout Nevada for over 40 years. Hope you enjoy the show. Ghost box to speak to us. We know you're here with us.
When we walked over, I noticed that it was changing and it was like 66.5 and I said 666 and it went 666 and it stayed at 666.
Did you get the video of it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Oh, I just heard something again.
You want us to leave or go upstairs?
So far, Eddie's been getting lots of voices on.
Hey, door's closing. Door's closing. Door's closing.
Through all the years of filming, we have been to many haunted places, but nothing quite like this. On this Spirit Out of Nevada episode, we are going to be connecting with the souls that still roam Eureka. We'll leave it up to you to decide whether or not this is real.
Doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol. So finish your whiskey or beer.
Hi everyone, Sam here, your host with Spirit of Nevada. And boy, do I have a treat for you this Halloween. I'm gonna stay somewhere a little spooky. But before we begin, gotta grab my things and then I'm gonna take you on inside and give you a tour. I'm standing on the balcony of the Jackson House, located on the historic Main Street of Eureka. We're gonna be spending the next 2 days talking to locals and finding out if Eureka is actually haunted.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I understand that you lived at the Jackson House for a few months. What was that like?
I never saw or heard anything. It's like any other hotel for me, but there's been a lot of people that say they hear things or feel things. been times where I've had that creepy feeling
That someone was watching
that
you?
something was going on, but never saw or heard anything.
Now, since you're the manager here, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come in and out of this place.
Yeah.
Is there a moment where you were thinking, okay, there may be a possibility that spirits do roam the Jackson Hotel?
No, I think they do.
What about your kids? What do they say when they're here?
They wouldn't walk around in the dark.
Can't blame them.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, when I went to go check in yesterday, one of the people up front, she had said that she's not allowed to put certain people on a certain end of the hotel. Is there a reason why women aren't allowed to go into certain rooms and stay there?
Not that I'm aware of, other than they just don't like it there. People that have stayed here before, they, like I said, that there's one side or the other they just don't like.
When you say they don't like it, is it because they don't like it because the bed's uncomfortable, or they feel a certain way? Like, what is their reason?
There's
to
just the
not like
vibe of the vibe of this certain rooms. They just don't like how it feels. They like the rooms, but they just don't like how it feels in there. They get an odd feeling.
Hello, come on in. Welcome to the Jackson Suite, one of the more active rooms here at the hotel. And when I called Eureka to let them know that we were coming to visit, they were really excited and said they had a special surprise for me. But I had to bring one thing, and that's a dress from the early 1800s. So I put something together that I want to show you. Come on over. This is my room. And here's my dress. Got special little earrings. Look at this. You think they'll look good on me? I'm about to find out. So I can't wait to see what surprise they have for us tonight. All right, it's time to get dressed. Show's over for now. This is our second time in Eureka, and I'm really excited because we're in the Jackson house.
Yes, we couldn't wait for you guys to be here.
Thank you. We've been looking forward to it for the last few weeks, from the moment that I got on the phone with you and you told me, hey Sam, come over, we're gonna have some tea together, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the history of the Jackson house. I'm gonna tell you my encounters of working here, because I know you've been here for a few months. You're new to Eureka.
Yes.
But you've been doing your research.
I have. There is so much history here in this whole town. When you were asking earlier what the history was, there's so much. It's an immigrant community. And I mean, there was the Italians, which were known as the Carbonari. Nice. And that story is amazing.
I want to know about that, because I read a little bit about them, and there was suppression and there was violence.
Yes.
And the sheriff had a posse that went after a few of them, and they're now buried at one of the cemeteries.
At the county cemetery over there, there's an interment there. It was called the Fish Creek Massacre. And the Carbonari were the woodcutters, and they burned and created coal, charcoal, so that it could be burned in the smelters. And the quick and the worthy of it is that they wanted more money for their work. It was like 3 cents a bushel.
3 cents.
I can't even imagine.
Anything with that today.
I know. And so they went on strike. And from what I understand is that they went on strike, and a posse was sent out to them, but not necessarily a sheriff's posse that went out there and was wanting to stop the strike. Well, tensions were high, and when the dust settled, the Carbonari, or I think it's 11 of the Carbonari, were killed, and not one of the 9 posse that was sent out there had a mark or were scathed.
Is
Nothing.
that typical during that era for violence to be so common?
Okay, let's, 1877, 1880s, this was a boom town. 10,000 people were here. And in 1875, the train had come here to where then more resources are brought in and going out. And all kinds of people, like I said, it was an immigrant community, miners and then ranchers and farmers and then business people. And we had saloons and gunfights and deaths and a lot of violence out in the cemeteries. We have 9 cemeteries.
That's what I noticed in my research. Why so many? For one town to have 9, it feels like that's a lot.
I think so too, because it's like they've got, over here they have the Masons and a Catholic cemetery. They have the county cemetery. They had Schwam's, which is the oldest cemetery. It's like 1862 out there. And then there was a Jewish cemetery, a Chinese cemetery, a Native American, where slag is actually over that.
So the Chinese cemetery, is it because there were so many Chinese workers in the tunnels?
So not just in the tunnels, but in working as laborers. And remember, there were 17 smelters here. Bad, inclement weather, yes. Yeah. And the inclement weather meaning the air quality was bad, and with lead and ore, the lead in the air. They had smallpox that were here and wiped out a lot of the children.
Is that why you see so many at the cemetery, little spots for them?
Little spots for them, unmarked graves that are up there.
That.
Yes, so a lot of unmarked and children's graves that were here. But we had, English, Irish, Cornish, Welsh, Native American here,
like
and Chinese. It really was like Virginia City, because the work was here for the mining. So silver first, and then gold and zinc and these precious metals. And it takes so much to bring all that together, and then the community that raised up to support them.
Yeah. And to get the supplies that they needed here as well, to keep the town going. And
I can't even imagine.
That was probably so difficult. I want to ask this question because as I was reading about the history and who owned the Jackson Hotel, I was reading that it was called the Brown Hotel at one point. Tell me about who is Brown?
Well, before Brown, though, there was Mr. Jackson. So some people think it was named after a president. It was not. So 1877, Andrew Jackson, who was an Irish immigrant from Hamilton, another mining community.
Close by.
Yeah, close by.
On this side, because in Austin's that way.
Yes. It burned down. His hotel burned down. So he had come here because it was booming, 1877. The town is raising up.
So he said, I'm going to go build my
I'm going to go build one here. So he built one, and it was advertised as the first fireproof hotel in the state of Nevada.
Wow.
Which was put to the test in the fire.
Because there were several fires here.
1879, 1880, 1917,
wow,
and 1950. So, and it survived.
Through a lot.
Yes. And that's what's amazing about the history of this town, is that the immigrants and that pioneer spirit built it up stronger each time.
So if there were never any murders done in this hotel, why would you say people believe that there are spirits roaming the hotel?
That is the question. It's a mystery for all of the activity that goes on here. I'm quite puzzled and keep researching because I'm so fascinated with what happened here, because the hotel itself has a presence. Sometimes Charmin and I, our caterer that's here, we say that we just work with invisible work staff that's here, because there's more than one presence that's here.
Well, I wonder what we're going to find today on our ghost tour as we roam the streets of Eureka.
And you have equipment, so on a
We
personal
have
note,
lots of it.
I'm really thrilled to hear about what you find, because I know what we hear or see or running across the ceiling, noises, things moving, different things. So I'm quite fascinated to see if you hear or experience anything.
Purdy is an expert, our videographer. He just knows a lot. about the paranormal, and you know, we brought a lot. I mean, we didn't pack light on this trip at all.
Oh, I'm glad.
So
I'm looking forward to
he's going
it.
to teach us all about everything. So later on, as we go on the ghost tour, he's going to show us everything. So I'm excited for
me
that.
too.
Okay, so we're starting our ghost hunt officially.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we have everything set up right now. Oh, look, 666.
We saw it at the same time.
666.
As soon as we said we're starting our ghost hunt, it turned drop in temperature. I just got the chills just now.
Okay.
Okay. Want me to lead you into this?
We're ready to go.
All right, so we got all of our gear and we're getting ready to go into the tunnels. Dana's gonna lead us in.
Okay, now we're going to be going downstairs, and I know you've been here before, so we're going to
Yes,
go
we have.
downstairs, upstairs, and let's go hunting.
Jeez.
We're in the lowest level, going down. And we are underneath.
It's pitch black.
We're underneath the Eureka Cafe and the Eureka Hotel that was up above. It's just amazing the structure that's in here. And it's the last remnant of the underground tunnel system that was here.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. Let's
Just go
roll
with
the
it.
7 minutes.
Okay. Is anyone here with us?
Can you tell us your name? Nothing. All right, let me move out of the way.
Is there anyone here? You smell like smoke. It's like smoke. You
Like
smell-
cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I smell it.
My name is Dana. I bring tours down here. And my biggest question is, are you Chinese? With your camera or whatever you're doing.
So now we're heading into
You're
the
heading
cafe.
into the Eureka Cafe. And that's the kitchen room that you're going into, and then the cafe itself.
Jan?
Yeah, so far I feel like it's been neutral for me. Earlier at the Jackson Hotel, I had my first cold spot, and that was new to me. That was a new experience. But so far here, nothing yet.
Dana?
It's been quiet here, and we heard a noise in the cathedral tunnel in the back there. We heard a noise in the cathedral tunnel. We heard a noise in the cathedral tunnel. We heard a noise in the cathedral tunnel.
Anyone hear that? I swear I heard a little girl's voice. Hello? Hi. We mean no harm, but we do hear you back there. If that's you, can you say yes? And if it's not, can you say no? Are you a little girl? Eureka, is that you?
Can you tell us your name? I'm Samantha. Will you tell us your name?
Are you shy? We don't mean you any harm.
Okay, sir. Can you repeat that one more time for us? I'm Samantha, by the way. And we bring our friends here with us. Dana and Eddie and David right here.
Hold on. Almost,
I don't know.
it might, when we review it,
We might be able to figure out
What it was saying.
What it was saying.
Usually you'll hear stuff.
Yeah.
Because it was
Clearer.
that's something.
He was trying to communicate. I think
But considering that every time that we did the ghost box, we got literally only once over in the cafe area and nothing down there. Here, immediately when setting it down, you got something. And we had maybe the voice of the girl, and then the shiver, you got the chills immediately, and the orbs. So at least it's something, a pattern, you know.
I think it was trying to say something to us, but when we go back and review the footage, I think we'll be able to have we'll be able to hear it better. So it's hard to hear everything.
I think time to wrap up.
Okay, let's wrap up here and head back to the Jackson house.
Eureka is one of a kind, and its historic roots run deep. The people are very friendly to all those who pass through here, and the spirits seem to be just as nice. I challenge anyone who comes to Eureka to stay at the Jackson house, because it will be an experience that you will never forget. And if something happens out of the ordinary, message us on Facebook. We'd love to hear about it. And a special thank you to Eureka for having us here. We've enjoyed our stay, and the hospitality has been wonderful. Have a safe and happy Halloween, everyone. I'm Samantha Chian, but you can call me Sam with Spirit of Nevada. Brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm. The story will continue next week as we spend one more night in Eureka.